Battle Pirates Crib. Tonight we're going to talk about the new FM target. No new FM prizes. We're also probably going to talk a little bit about the Bronze Rage, what people thought about it. And let me go ahead and introduce everybody from top to bottom. Lady Cat,
Hello.
Magic Mike,
Howdy doody.
Aussie,
Good morning, everybody.
and Jeff slash Kenny.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. So yeah, we're gonna put Jeff to work tonight. So let's go ahead and start
And
with.
he gets killed twice tonight.
yeah, we'll see what happens. So let's
Let's get everybody put the word out. I mean, there's only 14 in there if we go and put on this big show so quick.
yeah. Well,
They'll be in the losers, I guess. Go ahead.
okay. All right, let's go to the first slide. All right. Anybody who can explain this, go ahead and read it.
Well, I mean, it's self-explanatory, but I didn't know.
What does it mean?
It
Don't
means
say it's self-explanatory without explaining it.
they nerfed it. That's what it means.
Downburst heavy cannon, now consistent with ballistic recoil suppressor, is a special.
Right.
So what did they nerf?
Well, I assume, is the ballistic recoil suppressor on the heavy cannon?
It's a potential special to put on it.
So I guess it wasn't. I can't explain it. Don't
Okay.
know.
Oh, then you shouldn't have read
You
it.
read it?
Okay.
No,
All right. That was the rule. I don't know. I'm going to put her on mute.
I'm a
One's
rule
right.
breaker.
Strike
Yep.
one.
All right. So, well, if we don't really know what it means, I assume there was something wrong with it before, and now it's consistent. So let's move on.
Consistently broken.
Yeah. Now we know that it's now been made not as good.
Yes.
That's
One-
all we need to know.
That's
Mhm.
one or the other.
Well, yeah, it doesn't really imply that it's, besides that Lady Cat said it was nerfed, there's nothing in there that implies that it's been not as good or better or whatever.
No, that was based on my historical knowledge of what
Okay.
it means.
They could have evenly averaged both of them so that they're just never mind.
Okay. We have the new FM starts today. Started an hour ago. We have Shipwrecks, which is going to start start tomorrow. So we haven't got the briefing from that yet. We'll talk about it if it comes out within the time frame of the show. Otherwise, maybe we'll talk about it on Friday. Maybe it sucks. Maybe it doesn't. Who really knows? They do have the thing that I had been asking about, where the winner of a shipwreck battle will get automatically repaired. So it feels like they won something. And we have VXP weekend starting on Friday, and we assume it runs, all weekend. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. And we have Bounty next week. So I don't know. Let's go on to the next one. All right, VXP weekend. This is the VXP target that we saw last month. And this is just a repeat for people that missed it or just a refresher. It does have a 15-minute timer, but if you just go in and kill those two circle turrets, which won't require you to take any damage, and then pull back, you should be able to level up pretty much any ship fairly quickly that way. Considering it runs for 4 days or whatever at this point, it really shouldn't be a problem. Any thoughts on this one, anybody?
Just make sure you hug the wall when you're going up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks a lot like the 120 target.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's an extension. The
Yeah.
120 is an extension of that.
Yeah, and it also has some different turrets in there. On the right hand side there is a launcher that wasn't there in the 120 target. There's an extra directional modified Tempest that's thrown in there as well, relative to the first target, the target we saw in the 120. In that bottom right corner there, or sort of right, but the bottom cluster, there are a couple of turrets that weren't there before. But really, to rank up your ships, just the two in the circle, and you're going to max out as far as the damage that you do. So just go up there, kill them, wait 15 minutes, find another target. And historically, every time I use the locator to find a target, it's fresh. So if you don't want to, I always check with a Corvette or a gunboat just to make sure that the target is intact. But if you just go there and hit that, you should be okay, and you're going to rank up quite fast.
Do we know?
What do we know?
We're in the raid. If you got them, do they leave you short? Or
Say that one more time.
were there or were there not tokens in the raid to rank that?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, that should be plenty.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah, a lot of people, because they were fairly expensive and there was fairly low participation in the raid.
Yes.
That a lot of people might not have bothered for this. I'm just saying this is going to be really quite simple.
Yeah.
To rank up, if you want to rank up the Scoundrel, which sort of showed limited use in the raid. I use the tier 8 siege VXP tokens, which got me up to level 68% ranked. And so I have minimal to do. But there we go. And it's going to give out, probably if you have your full fleet at this point, you can get the Defender tokens that'll drop if you kill this whole thing. And relative to what we've seen before, this target looks easier than the 120. So it might be fun to play around with the target and get some Defender tokens at the same time if you have your full Dragoon fleet.
And we are hoping it will be the same target.
Yeah, with this group, you never know, but historically they haven't changed.
Correct.
They haven't changed the targets on us like that. So, alrighty. If nothing else on VXP weekend, the Bronze Rage.
Yeah.
So, what is we talked about this on Wednesday and Friday. We talked about the extensively about the preferred countermeasures switch from gales to sprints. Also, I'd like to hear if anybody has any thoughts on, one of the big differences as far as what people were using was lower countermeasures on their offensive ships, and then Hyper 30 if you had a countermeasure ship, versus going all high velocity rounds. I don't know. Does anybody want to talk about
I kind of do that.
What builds they saw that was working well and not so? And I don't know. Go ahead.
I had a very similar build to what Ben was doing, and he was doing quite well. And I think
You need to explain what Ben's build is before you.
Right. And I just was going to say, I think he had about what you were talking about, the lower cannon mount and Hyper 30 on the one. And I'd have to look it up to be sure.
If you're going by that, all you got to do is look at Apex's builds in his videos, because it's exactly the same as those with the lower cannon mount version.
Yeah, but he had about 3 different versions, didn't he?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. With the lower counter mount version, that's the same as what Ben had.
Yeah. And we saw, I guess there's 2 things that me and you saw, obviously. One is The first one, speaking, since you brought up the Apex Predator builds, sometimes he went a little off the reservation on some of his builds, and I would look at him and I'd be like, I can't make sense of like why are you using frontline countermeasures. And I was looking through the videos, and Aussie was looking through the videos, and it became more apparent to me after looking at him, it was the extremely aggressive driving style he was using more than the builds themselves, or at least some of these later tweaks to the builds that really caused him to have really good repair times. The 120 and 122 targets really encouraged aggressive driving to kill turrets, keep moving, because the UAVs and the launchers would just keep on pecking at you if you try to be safe and time out everything incredibly well. So, I don't know, any other thoughts?
I had a very difficult time driving the ships.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't turn the way, it's hard to explain. It was kind of like, well, we've been noticing lately, I guess, these 90-degree turn things since a couple weeks ago, I think. So that was kind of getting to me. I didn't know if it was my mouse, so I went back and got the wired mouse from the Hellwraith days. I put that on. That didn't help me much. I was just having trouble controlling my ships. And I don't know if it was my hardware, my ability, or my build, or their lag, or what lack of, that was the biggest annoyance to me. It was the biggest thing that that I didn't like about the raid, was that I couldn't control things very well.
Yeah, and these targets seem to be run opposite of your general driving tendencies, is because they rewarded people that were extremely aggressive. No, it rewarded people that were extremely aggressive in the targets, as opposed to somebody that might be more patient or cautious in the targets.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's where I was going wrong. I mean, I was doing the 122, and after we watched the Apex Predator one, where he was really aggressive in the 122, I was being very cautious in the 122. Trying not to get hit by anything, and I would be taking 44 minutes to 35 minutes damage. And then after watching that video, and I was talking to you at the time, the first 122 I hit, driving it really aggressively, I went down to 16 minutes. That was my best time. I never got that again. But yeah, driving real aggressively, I knocked off 30 minutes, nearly.
I did much better in the 122 than I did in the 120.
Oh, the 122 was a lot better than the 120.
I found that when you're coming down that right-hand side, going towards the bottom right, if you hit it like wanted to go a straight line, the doggone ship's mine anyway were like zigzagging down there. They wouldn't go on a straight line.
Yeah, if you went, they would
You been
zigzag
drinking again?
and go wonky. No, my ships did the same thing.
Okay.
Your ship,
So you both been drinking?
They were wiggling.
They were
Wiggling down.
Yeah,
They wouldn't stay on the straight path, and that was driving me nuts.
Yeah, mine did that quite a bit as well. You want to go in a straight line, it zigzags along.
Yeah, a wiggle, zigzag.
It didn't appear that there should have been anything in the way to make them want to turn.
Right, but they were left, right, left, right. That's right.
So it wasn't just mine. Okay.
No, mine were doing that too. The other problem I had is sometimes they would circle.
Yeah, I had that.
Yeah.
Circle, which scared me if I was like doing the 502s and going and trying to not use a rocket. Scared me whether or not that circle was going to make them be in the way.
We may have later, but I don't know how you do a 502 without using rockets.
Well, I still use rockets, but I only use three. I only use 3 rockets.
Okay.
Yeah, I was using 3.
Yeah, but there are 2 places.
You had to use them.
You didn't have to, but no, I did it once with using only 2 rockets, but it wasn't fun.
How did you avoid the stun? Because I started one, I was doing really good, and then I was.
You just had to get your timing right and your spacing right.
Oh, no kidding. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's what got me. I mean, but
But anyway, the other problem I had was the same problem Jeff had when he first was Kenny and trying to drive the ships. When you're trying to stay in one spot, because you have to keep moving so that you don't lose your speed boost, but you can't move very far or else you'll get in the way of the flames. It was too easy to click on your own ship and unstack them. So
Yeah.
I struggle with that a little bit too. I got better
Yeah,
at it, but it
that
did
happened a few
struggle.
times to me as well. Trying to get out of the way, I'd end up clicking on the one ship.
Yeah.
And one ship would move, and the other four would stay still.
I thought the targets were generally fun once I got the hang of it. I did not like how the one mistake and boom, you're dead for 6.5 hours. That wasn't fun. But once you learned, once you learned the hard way a time or two, it really wasn't that bad. I had to use all my tokens that I had saved for the scoundrel on my ships to put the sprints on there
Yeah, you're
and
better
put some more armor on there. And then I bought a ballistic sync overdrive and put that on there. And that all made it pretty doable. I could do the targets fairly easy, and then watching the video, learning how to do the 502 using rockets and dragoons. So it did really, really well, but it really got to me twice. I have flash crashes, and the second time was an hour and a half before the end of the raid. I had been building rockets for the last 2 hours, saving them all up, so I could do this one final push, so I could get those, either get the Neiman or get the VXP tokens, one or the other or both. And right as I went into the target, I flash crashed. By the time I got back in, I was dead. So 6.5 hour repair, an hour and a half before the raid ended, and I said, forget it. It wasn't meant to be. I gave up.
You mentioned that you bought one ballistic or ballistic sync drive.
Yeah.
I assume you put it on the 5th ship.
Correct.
Did you start to run into any stacking issues after you did that?
No.
Okay.
Not any that weren't either of my own doing, where I accidentally would click the ship, or I had the wonky wiggle, just like everybody else had.
Yeah, I started to run into after I did that, I started to run into stacking issues. That the most egregious was at one point I was in a 502, 503, whatever, and I was pulling away, and they had all been stacked, and they were moving all together. So it wasn't at the beginning of the target; it was well into the target. And then I got one ship, I assume it was the one with the sync drive. I don't know. But one ship went shooting ahead like 3 lengths away from the other ships. And then they eventually all caught up with each other. But I didn't start seeing those sort of stacking issues until after I put on the sync drive.
Yeah, I didn't.
But aren't they supposed? Isn't that supposed to sync to the slowest one anyway?
I assume it was one of the ships. I was just like, oh, what's going on? I couldn't identify which ship it was. I was too busy trying to get them. Yeah, to get everything back together. So yeah, that really wasn't my top concern at that point in time, was to identify the ship. So, and like I brought up at the beginning, as far as do we have any more on what builds that you, or changes to your builds, or thoughts on your current builds that you might change moving forward that we haven't really talked about before?
Yeah. Not for me. At the moment, mine's pretty good.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with my build. I guess I've got the HVR build. I'm not using lower cannon mounts. I was pretty happy with it. I want to get them to U3 now, because some of them were U1s and some weren't, and that's about the best I can do. So my focus will be finishing upgrades, putting more armor on, and maybe getting the ballistic sync drive on all of them, or mixing and matching. I haven't decided. See, what worries me normally in a normal raid cycle, I would say I would know what to do. But they changed the targets to second raid last time,
Mm-hmm.
and they changed how some things work. So I don't know if my build's still good or will be good for the next raid.
Okay.
I don't know that they're going to leave it the same.
Okay. Chuck, certain crews made them unstack. Were these some of these, like the ballistic marauders or whatever? Or were they adding combat speed? I did notice that. I stopped using them, at least in the 500, the X targets, and
Yeah, well, that would make a difference if they weren't all sync drives. That if the particular ship that didn't have a sync drive on it got more damage, it would get that extra speed up bonus, wouldn't it? And the other three wouldn't, or actually the other four wouldn't get it.
I'm not talking about the ones that take damage. I'm talking about the ones that have like a there's one that adds something. I think it's Marauders or whatever, but it adds 11% ballistic criticals and I think plus whatever combat speed for the first 18 seconds. And I was running into issues with that. It wasn't related to damage. It was
Okay.
Yeah.
Jordy said that he started having trouble stacking issues after Sunday, and he didn't make changes. And that's about when I got my stacking, or not stacking issues, but the wonky driving, the wiggling. I noticed it after Sunday too. But I just chalked it up to the ballistic sync drive.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Now, Cuddle, are you just trying to upset us here? Look how well the suppressor did Raid 1 versus Raid 2. Raid 1, the suppressor worked quite well. So, I don't even know what you're trying to do here, Cuddle. I mean,
are you trying to tell us?
I didn't see the ship this time do that well. So, are you gonna say just scrap it at this point, the scoundrel? I mean, because it didn't do well the first raid, so I don't know. You're gonna have to explain yourself further. So, any other Bronze Rage issues? Okay, and still no.
Nope.
Okay, just things. Yeah. I'm assuming that the scoundrel is going to get better because it didn't really perform that well this time. Everybody.
Well, the suppressor never got any better.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So,
that's why I thought he was trolling all of us.
Well, maybe they're just playing a joke on us and saying, how you think it's not worth anything now to have that brand new ship, but you're going to really need it next raid. You'll be sorry.
Yeah, yes.
I got the scoundrel, but
just don't upgrade it.
I'm not going to.
No.
I know. I'm the one.
I didn't buy kits to do it.
I'm the one.
No, when you upgraded your suppressor, you needed the suppressor to do the suppressor.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. Not doing that again.
Mm-hmm.
Fool me once. Well, they fool me all the time. But anyway, never mind.
Okay.
Trixie Kixie.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. No more on the Bronze Rage at this point. If anybody wants to comment below as far as on Friday, should we go into more detail on Dragoon builds? I don't know if we have. I think it would probably be a waste of the internet bandwidth to talk about projected scoundrel builds. Or people want to talk about Praetorian builds. But they all seem like possibilities. So let us know. And if everybody's done with the Bronze Rage, let's move on. Oh, yeah. I think this is the inspiration for the Mercury Thrower. So the Searsol, it's great if you have your sous vide, and you can just create a little coating on everything afterwards, and nice brown everything up. So let's move on. All right. The FM cycle. We have 3, so we jump to the assumption that we're going to have a raid that starts on the 9th, October 9th. Normal what we see, but you never really know. Let's move on to the next one. We have the new Legion Barracks 129, and we also see a change to the shard drops for the Legion Barracks, which are the 125 and above. They're going to start dropping assault specials that are assault shards for weapons and specials that we'd, still out of date, but probably more useful than the what we've seen before for the previous siege. I did find it highly amusing that half an hour before the raid was over in Alpha, they added radioactive battery and ballistic battery to the prize store half hour before the raid was over.
What? They added prizes a half an hour before the raid was over?
Yes, they did. But there were radioactive battery and ballistic battery were the 2 prizes that they added at 5:30 Eastern, which is amusing by itself. But then I looked down and I had over 100 of each because they drop out of the 120 and the 121. So now we see the scatter system, 2 surgical strike warheads, Cersei scattergun, and the assault missile D76E drop out of the 125, 129, and 131.
I'm still in shock that they dropped a target at the end of the raid. I mean, dropped new prizes right there at the end of the raid. Fortunately, I didn't need them either, but still,
yeah.
That's not nice.
Okay, let's give it another click. Yes, the new 129 target features heavy explosive damage. Use your Zintian isotope ZX1 to gain an advantage. And then there's one more click. This is a pop-up. Captains, keep an eye out for the new high payout level 129 target in the Forsaken mission. This week, the auto-friendly target is designed for captains who would rather point their Praetorian fleet at a target and watch the destruction from the comfort of their flagship Tiki Bar.
Yeah. Watch the destruction of your fleet.
Yeah. It doesn't actually say destruction of what.
I'm assuming that Mike is destroying some sort of drink with an umbrella in it.
Oh no!
Yes.
It was a dirty bastard tonight.
Okay, alrighty. And speaking of which, and people are already asking for it.
Jeff has a reputation to make.
Yeah. And I asked Jeff to hit the 129 twice. First, the challenge is he's going to hit the 129 on auto, and then try to drive it and beat the time, the damage time driving, so we can get an idea. Let me know when you're ready, Jeff. And then the other thing is, what kind of armor do you have on this ship?
None, except I put one. I think it's an M armor on the 5th ship because of the missile damage it was taking on it.
Okay, so you don't have any of the new the Isotope X armor?
No.
Okay. And okay. And what is your distribution of your antis? Are you still
I have 4 and 4. 4 on one ship and 4 on the other of the.
Sprints, MDS.
Yeah. Let me just share the screen. The fleet's a little bit wonky. It's probably easier to see than to describe.
Okay. Sounds good.
A winky wonky donkey.
Yes. Which was used to be Aussie's stage name, but we're not going to talk about what industry he was in at that point in time.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's I don't know. His aspect ratio is really off. So you're going to have to
go full screen for a start. That'll help.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
That way we can take a snap of your base and come and kill you.
Yeah.
So that didn't help at all.
Okay, I can tell you don't have any armors. You have pen sync drive. Yeah, you're gonna have to do this because I have a hard time seeing some of the details on your screen.
Yeah. Okay. So 4 sprints up there.
Okay.
And 4 pilums.
Okay.
Combustion system
2.
Cluster warheads 3. High yield warheads.
Mm-hmm.
Explosive battery 1.
Okay.
Galea. Penetrative sync drive.
Okay. And
no Gale systems. No Gales at all.
Not on that one. That's the flag.
Oh, not on that one. Okay.
I changed my mind so many times while I was building this fleet. You're gonna laugh at all the differences. Okay, Franken fleet. So this one has an MDS 3 and a Gale 4.
Mm-hmm. And specials are the same or no?
No.
No, of course not.
No, okay.
That would be like rational.
Yeah. Well, we're just doing so everybody can compare to you at home. So, I'm sure everybody has the exact fleet build. But
the Franken fleet is very popular this year.
Franken fleets because there's differences between the FM target and the pillars targets, and we're like back and forth between them.
Yeah. I'm not being critical. It's just, I'm just, everybody at home that's like, oh, I'm going to take this much damage because I have the same build that, if anybody can submit that you prove that you have the same build as Jeff, you get some sort of prize.
You get to die next on the show.
Yes.
So this one has even weirder specials. It has precision napalm detonator.
It sounded like Aussie, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've changed my side to
Say you all right?
And a warhead reloader.
Okay. I have a warhead reloader on a couple of ships.
See?
Yeah.
All right. So that one's got an MDS 3 and a Gale, so that's a bit weird.
Mm.
And then this one is the same as the previous one, so it's a twin.
Okay.
Oh no, wait! Don't tell me. I hope I have Hyper 30 on both of them.
Oh no, this could end up.
Oh no!
Oh, this could turn out to be special. Right.
Well, okay.
It's Kenny. He's special.
He's special. All right. So 4 sprints on this one as well, and then back to the napalm and the specials of the other.
Yeah. I'm thinking. Oh, another Hyper 30, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you normally
these ships all the same speed or what?
Oh, you know what?
They have the sync
got
drive.
sync drive. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
sync drive.
Saving me.
Yeah.
So I'm saved by the sync drive.
Yeah.
And this one is the same as the second one, but it's usually ship 5, easy for me to say. And I threw this on D7M to try because it looked like it was taking all the missiles.
Okay.
So it's going to be an interesting experiment. Franken Monster's ready.
Okay. So you have 8 sprints and then 3 Gales and
3 Gales and 3 MDS 3s.
Okay. All right. And no armor except for the one. One. Okay.
Frankenfleet.
Right. I think Ben's making some bets out here. I'm gonna go higher. I'm gonna go 330. I don't know. We'll see that. We'll see.
Oh my God! They killed Kenny.
Oh, that's funny. It hasn't happened yet. We'll see that.
We'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. The Frankenfleet might be better than you think.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm putting my crew on. I'll go out and see how she
And a
does.
crew.
Yeah, and a crew. It's the
But it's
same.
It's not the right crew. Which
Steelhead.
crew you putting on? You're putting seeing everything else is not right.
Steelheads. But
Okay.
I've done everything else wrong. You mean do you want that one to be wrong too?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, it sounds like fun.
it's not wrong. It appears to be in progress. I do have Hyper 30s on all of mine, but
And remember we've all been trying to get the Praetorians done like as we learn about it while we're doing the raid fleet. So it's
Has that not been the most
Annoying,
Yeah.
frustrating.
Yes.
all right. So what number am I after here?
129.
129. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna auto this one.
Make that screen bigger.
Oh, we have a 50-second wait here.
Oh dear. It's probably one closer.
Wait.
Well, somebody fill in the comedy hour, okay?
Well, you have. I assume you have engines on all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that it took that long, because the FM targets were, I thought they were really fixed associated with the. Unless they're.
Hang on. Are you near us? You're near us, aren't you?
No.
No,
Oh,
he's
oh,
an
okay.
alpha. He's an alpha.
Okay, that's right then. Because I say there's one right next to us.
There's somebody probably snapping them all up in his sector.
By the time he gets there, it won't be there.
Yeah, that's actually been happening on the one.
Might have been easy to use a tower.
No.
You are the most impatient person.
There we go. There he goes.
Oh, he's there.
To wake up.
Hang on. I got one thing to say.
Does it give it? Is it a standard point of entry? Do we know yet?
Yeah, it only comes in one place. Doesn't matter where you come in. You come in at the top, no matter what.
Well, I can't F that up then, huh?
No, probably not.
Good.
Well, we don't know.
I'll find a way.
Yeah,
Okay,
find a way.
Here we go.
All right.
Watch it crash now.
I vote.
Yeah, you should have refreshed. Might have been a plan.
It would have been funny if we did a blind auto on the whole thing. That would have been amusing. We all sat there for, 5 minutes during the whole thing. But
that was nice. Good plan, Kenny.
there we go.
It's doing so much better than me.
We'll see.
It's only just started. Give it a minute.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Wait until everything starts shooting at you when you come down.
Yeah. The ships look daunting.
Yeah, there's more ships in this.
Less
Less of the
rhinos.
Yeah.
There goes those enemy mountains again.
Yeah.
Probably be safe in thinking that they boycotted this or they outlawed the subs again. Can't sub them out.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Give me a minute. I'll
I
let you know.
guess that since they already destroyed that for the last one, they probably.
Yeah. We'll see.
Could try one, but I don't want to.
Well, when I find my subs, I'll let you know.
All right.
Not doing too bad so far.
Well,
Without Kenny at the wheel, they're doing fine.
yeah.
Is that the issue?
Well, no, we're gonna see. That's part of the whole. That's part of the whole thing. We're gonna figure out if he's better autoing or driving.
Do we need to make it Go Fund Kenny campaign?
Maybe.
No, he has a special reserve fund just for being
Kenny.
Kenny.
Yeah.
This is the 7 million point target, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes, the 129. Yes, and it is. They do pay attention on auto. It appears to where the mountains are. At least as far as I don't sit there and try and shoot over the mountains.
No, that was pretty good, actually. I would half expected him to stay there and shoot all day.
Yeah, yeah. So they have done some work there. All right. Ben, are you still sticking with 2 hours and 20 minutes? I think I went, 3 hours and 15 or 3:30? I think 3:30.
I'll refresh in between and stuff so it doesn't crash on the next one. That Armada looks nasty, but it doesn't hurt too bad, it looks like.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because you do have 8 sprints. I'm trying to figure out I can't remember how many I have on my fleet. I think I have. I think I have like 13 on my fleet.
The good news is the 5th ship is that armor must have helped a little. See, the difference in damage there is a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Usually number 5 is taking a lot more damage.
Number 5 alive?
Number 5 is still alive. All the people that have never seen that movie are like, yeah.
Yeah, Warwick got driving 3 hours and 15, so we'll see.
Well,
I think I can do better than this, I'm betting.
Okay.
Well, you're not doing as bad as I thought you would do. I didn't think.
Oh, he's not driving yet.
I'm not driving.
I know.
The next one.
No, he'll do better driving. But I really didn't think he'd survive it at all.
That Franken build isn't as bad as it looked.
It's not bad.
So I got all the one lower level armors on mine. I wonder if it'll.
There we go. Looks like about a little over half the fleet dead. See,
3.5 was happy, right?
almost all explosive damage.
Yeah, okay. But a lot of it resisted, but just for the base. And what was the repair time?
We'll see.
I can't read it. What does it say? What did you do?
Oh, you all lost.
What was it? 4 hours and something?
4 hours, 20 minutes.
Okay. Well, Ben started with 2 hours and 22 minutes, so I want an hour above, Wow.
But you could do one more on auto and then put your fleet to bed, and the next morning get up and do 2 more.
Yeah, you got pretty even damage because not a lot of accuracy based stuff going on there.
Okay, FYI, you cannot put the subs in there.
Oh, okay. Bama
I didn't think it could.
Bama did call it, and I looked up. She said 4.5 hours on auto.
Wow. Somebody won the Price is Right, huh?
Yeah, well, she went over, though.
Oh, so
I was still under. I was between the two, so it really depends on how the rules are defined there. But, I'm willing to give the win to Bama, even though I was still under, because Price is Right. Yeah, if you go over, you lose.
All right, so I'm going to repair, refresh, and hit another one.
Okay.
This time, Kenny
Just
can,
time you're going to drive. Okay.
Yep. If Kenny, you can beat the computer.
Yeah, so do not take your subs into a 129.
Could be ugly.
Well, it could be. I got out. Well, I had to see if they were actually going to damage my subs.
Yeah.
Because in their first time, originally you could take them in, they would fire, but they wouldn't hit you. So I had to actually wait and see if they were going to actually damage my subs. But yes, they do.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right. I'm not using them anyway.
That would have been my guess, though, based on the change.
Yeah, the 131, yeah.
Okay. Does anybody want to guess on the in YouTube chat? Does anybody want to guess on the driving time? Because we started off with was 4 hours and 22 minutes.
Yep. I'm nervous.
I think
3 hours.
3.
I was going 3.5.
Oh,
So
three.
we're all with, the consensus so far is 3.5.
310.
Okay. Anybody in
All
chat?
right, 311 then.
Double it.
309.
Derpy's going 340 driving.
There you go.
Yeah, he went right over me. So yeah, I was 330. So we'll see how this works out.
Oh, boy.
And Jordy's guessing he loses the whole fleet, which is I don't know.
It's a possibility, but I'm going to be optimistic about my driving and go 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Did you refresh?
Yeah, I refreshed.
Okay, because I wasn't watching.
2 hours and 30 minutes. I'm going to ace this test. Well, I need to be a different character than Kenny after that.
Call you Richard. Petty.
Richard Petty, yeah. Okay, back to that Zoom. Okay, here we go. Come on, Jeffrey.
Oh, and that was with the crew too.
Yeah, this will be too.
No, I mean that 4 hours is with a crew. So if you didn't use a crew,
Yeah, we
probably
had,
up at
I had
5.
the steelhead through. Yeah. Oh, you're saying it would have been higher, so
Yeah,
you would have won. Now I'm trying to pick my path carefully because I don't want the computer to beat me. Use the enemy mountains to my advantage.
Yeah, you might want to watch those long range ballistics down the bottom there.
Oh yeah.
Those ones there. They're on the other side too. So if you go in between those two mountains, they're going to probably fire on you.
Cuddle believes in you, Kenny.
Somebody better.
What would he say?
He says, 2 hours, 10 minutes. I have faith in your skills.
I appreciate his faith. Might be misplaced, but we'll soon find out.
I think you're doing good.
I don't know. Your health line is.
A lot better than the auto, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it has to be.
I love all that red.
It's really hard to see though.
Yeah.
They need
I'll try next time. I'll
Not you.
with my
It's not
screen
you.
red.
It's the steam yard has just got a small viewing area, I think, or versus YouTube.
Well, it's only on the share screen, isn't it?
Kill those things. They're still there. Why are they taking so long to go down? Those guys in the corner there. I'm not doing that much better than the auto, unfortunately. Those bottom turrets were like immune to my missiles.
Yeah, that's because you got rockets.
Oops.
Oops.
Oops is never a good word in this game, is it? Especially when that fire during the raid. Oops cost you money.
Oh my! Oh my!
That was
like you watched. You just just was a ka-ching sound with it.
That time.
No, it wasn't a ka-ching time. It was a I'll do something else.
Yeah.
I'll use my eradicators in its 60s.
No, I wouldn't go that far. I just
I did.
something else.
I had 170 something sets in the 60s.
Oh my god!
Right.
What was your total breakpoints?
Looks like I'm going to be pushing 3 hours. It looks like I don't know.
Ooh, yeah, that's a bit over.
I said 2.5, so I'm not going to win this game. But it wasn't. It definitely did better than auto, at least. At least Kenny could drive better than the computer.
Explosive.
What is
What's
it?
it say?
And the answer is
Well, it was right there. The answer was there.
It's still here. What is it? We can't read that.
You got to
3
do
hours 54 minutes.
Oh, I went 3.5.
Right.
Bama went 4:30. Texas Roller went 4:20. I think I won. Oh, 3:40. Wait, what'd you get?
354.
Oh, Derpy won.
340, pretty close.
Yeah, increase the winner.
Yeah.
The good
So
news
what
I
you
think-
won was you were able to give him the coin to repair it.
Yeah, that's the,
No, it means Derpy can come on the show and and hit the target too.
The next one to die.
Yeah.
so the good news is it looks like you can do 3 of them before dying on if I drive. Like the other one was definitely only 2. This one looks like more like 3.
Yeah.
21 million points for what, 12, 14 hours repair? Is it? What's the repairs?
And I think I can shave some more off that and actually get it to 4 of them.
Yeah. And do you have any? Do you still have build tokens left or no?
No,
Okay.
You'll get them this week, and there's nothing else to build, right?
that's right.
So
Yeah.
you'll be able to put the new armor on. You've been getting the new armor, right?
Yeah.
the explosive. Put explosive on it because that's where you're getting most of your damage.
Right, the new isotope armor.
Yeah, so put
Yeah.
probably 2 of those on each ship for now, and then see how it goes.
So that should make it better.
Well, you can't put 2
it's
on
okay, that'll
each ship. You only have 6 that he has at this point.
Oh, okay.
So you can get 8 after this raid. So, getting 2 on all the ships would occur after next week's. So,
Okay.
alrighty. So,
Well, thank you, Jeff.
No problem.
Jeff, does anybody else want to try it? I know.
Nah,
I know.
my-
Honestly, you have a different
My
with
fleet's-
armor on it.
Yeah, but my fleet's damaged. I'm still repairing for the last 2 I hit. I still got 3
Okay.
ships to repair. But I took doing 2 driving was just under 4 hours.
Okay.
But the first one, obviously, I didn't really know what I was doing. Plus,
No.
I was taking snapshots at the time, so I had it sitting up in the top corner. So I think it might have got hit by something as well, but I don't know.
Well, I'm not going to do it in front of everybody, but it did give me the courage to try it tonight.
Yeah, I don't think they're as bad as what we're going to make
We're
out.
not even sure what she's talking about at this point. But
Yeah, but I mean, mine didn't. I didn't have a crew on there either, so that was just. I might be able to get that down. So I don't know,
okay.
hour and 45 or something on each one. Something I don't know. Oh no,
Yeah,
what did I say? Just under 4 hours. Yeah.
Jeff, have you hit the 131s at all?
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
How does this damage compare to what you got on the 131s? Higher, lower?
Oh,
Can I just make a statement? I was sorry.
No,
I just,
let him answer real quick, and then we'll get on.
now they've
Okay.
changed since the last 131 because of their armor, but
One armor is not going to change everything. So
no, but I could for sure only could do 2 of them.
okay, because you were taking
The
concentrated
fifth ship was
damage on
taking
one.
so much concentrated damage, so I could only do 2 of them because of that.
Okay.
And that one, I think if I drive a little better, I can do 4. So it's probably more cost effective than the 131.
Okay, but total damage is about the same, or higher or lower?
Looking at the damage from driving, that one was lower.
Okay. All
But
right.
I'm going to try the 131 now anyway, just to see.
Okay. Should we broadcast that one as well, or
Sure, why not?
well, if you're gonna do it, might as well,
Might as well, yeah.
Yeah, at this point, with no new prizes, we're killing time until the announcements come out. But
And we're still not.
like the raid announcement didn't come out till 12:45 as far as that briefing went. So
And this one I'm more experienced driving in, so I might do better.
On the
Hey,
forums, there's
nobody's
someone's
going to have
posted.
any idea how much to guess on this one, so it'll be more random.
What are you saying, Aussie?
Yeah, on the forum, someone's posted. They did a. They're basically saying they're not going to do the 129s because they took. What did they take? Hang on, where'd it go? 2 hours, 15 minutes repair on a 129, and in a 131 they get 90 minutes. So
It sounds like Ben.
so that's an hour and a half anyway. So it's,
Why-
it's
why
about
would there
45
be-
minutes.
Why would you get more damage on a 129 than a 131?
How do I know?
Oh, I know. But
I'm just
Well-
reading what it said.
theoretically,
Their explosive damage is higher, so if you're,
so if
I don't
you're
know.
set up for all pen,
yeah,
yeah,
it
that
all
makes
depends
Yeah,
on-
because in the 131, I seem to take more. Oh no, I didn't. No, that was explosive as well. Yeah.
All right, so I know it's a long time for you, but it's 27 seconds.
Are you good at R&D 31 or 30 or whatever?
Yeah,
Okay, it just seems like I don't know.
it's just the locator taking me so freaking far away again.
Okay, no, I was just checking because at least with me the locator feels fixed, but yeah, not when I watch
Well,
you.
let's look near my base for a second and see if the locator is working. Let's see. 111.
Well, I think that these are showing up next to the SSRBs.
Yeah. The nearest.
Oh.
Yeah. There's usually. Check those ones right on top of it. There.
Yeah, the locator's not working again. There's one right by my base.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Surprise.
The 131s are usually pretty good. There's usually one near every one.
Yeah, and that's why I was really surprised when the locator took me that long away. They broke it again.
They haven't
Or
fixed it.
or it's the targets by the SSRB that they're not identifying as quickly, or as correctly.
Coming around the mountain when she comes. There we go.
All right. Are we have bets on this one yet, or no?
I think he'll take more damage here than in the 129.
Which one? The 4-hour, the auto, or the driving?
Either.
Okay.
Well, you might as well have just said the auto, because that was the higher one.
Technicality.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Say
a lawyer.
either.
We got a lawyer in the room. Oh boy, I'm taking a lot of damage already. I'm used to taking 50% most of this fleet down on these, but kind of was hopeful that armor was going to help.
But what? You have one armor plate across 5 ships, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, yeah.
but the
Bring
fifth.
You have the potential for 30 armor slots.
No, but I'm just saying, number 5. He's actually doing a lot better than he used to, so I'm happy about that.
Okay, that's cool.
Is that the one you put that one piece of armor on?
Yeah.
See, the run of the litter is just needs some extra help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Ben's really restricted in his guesses. He went with 2 hours and 21 minutes. His previous guess on the other target was 2 hours and 22 minutes. So I don't even know what to say about that.
I drove this one badly. I've forgotten that he was supposed to take out those nasty missile turrets really soon because they do most of the damage.
Mm.
So I didn't drive my normal raid route or FM route.
Oh, those guys in the corners.
Yeah. If you take those out quickly, you lower your damage by about half an hour.
Which ones?
The
The one he just went past, I think.
see that one there?
Yeah.
You just fired at me. Those missiles
Okay.
take, and there's only one of them left, but it just took a chunk out of the number. Number 5 is half dead now,
Right.
so that armor didn't really improve things too much. Might put a second one on there.
Well, and these targets.
Oh, look at that. Number 4 took a huge hit this time instead of 5. What the heck? See the. Okay.
Mostly penetrative. Well, you got to read it to people because we can't read it.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, more fun.
417.
4 hours and 17 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
But the important thing is I could only do 2 of these because of the damage to number 4.
Yeah.
But you could probably do 3 of the other ones, right?
I think I can do 4 of the other ones. This one, if I shift 4 and 5 to positions 2 and 3, I think I can get to close to 3. So
There's no
points
advantage.
wise was 7 versus 10. This one's still about the same.
Okay.
I'm just curious.
3 times 10 is 30, and 4 times 7 is 28. So these are still the better target.
If you had no armor on your ships, would you take even amounts of explosive, and the penetrative would just mostly go to 1 or 2 particular ships? Is that how it's working?
Well, yeah, because pretty much I can't think of anything that does explosive that doesn't do splash. So that
So
would make
it's pretty even across the board. So you'll want at least, your explosive on every ship, but your penetrative mostly on your 5th ship and your flag.
I don't know. Does anybody have any comments? Because sometimes penetrative will do splash. And I think we've seen that in a lot of targets. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Alrighty. We still haven't seen the shipwrecks briefing. Does anybody want to make up what it says, or?
Is anybody planning on doing the event? You haven't seen what the prizes are, so before you see the prizes, just tell me yes or no. You gonna do it?
No.
Anybody on the panel at all gonna do it?
Nope.
Well, I might do it if the prices are good, but if they're not, then I'm not gonna bother. So I'm a maybe. But I didn't get the new ship Neiman, and I never built the last one, the Bloodwing. So I probably won't do as well as I could.
Derpy, what would you like us to discuss about the FM prizes? Okay, you're disappointed that the fact that there aren't any new ones. I didn't think the sync drives were going to be in there because they were a relatively expensive prize in the raid. So players would get upset if they could get them in the FM after they spent all that time getting them in the raid.
It was actually not too hard to get them in the raid. By the end of the raid.
Well, I mean, okay, what was harder to get?
I mean, it's harder for me to get the FM points if they made like a 25 million point sync drive. That would have been harder for me to get than it would have been to get that 1.5 million in the thing. So.
Okay. Jeff, do you want to answer this?
Yeah, I did.
Well, do it on the, yeah.
I did over there too.
No, but do it verbally so we, watch the show can actually,
Yeah. Number 4 has 4 sprints,
Mm-hmm.
and number 5 is the one with MDS and Hale.
Okay.
But I don't know if individual ships, what they have in countermeasures, is going to alter their each damage, is it?
It shouldn't. I mean,
Except for
the survival on those is the sprints doesn't add any. The MDS adds a little bit, and the Gale adds a little bit, but their survival numbers are pretty low relative to the current construct of the game.
And ironically, that is the one that took the damage, the one that has all those extra survival numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, funny how that works sometimes.
Well, I was seeing that on my even on I was seeing more damage on my 4th ship than I was on my 5th ship in the raid. I'm sorry, I was seeing damage on my 5th ship and 4th ship in the raid.
Me too.
Not sure why, but I don't think it had to do with countermeasures, because there was no countermeasures on the 4th ship.
Most of the time it was just the 5th ship, but sometimes it was the 4th and the 5th.
I was getting 4th and 5th as well. I firmly believe it's so that you couldn't do any gap repairs. You had to go into the base, or so you couldn't do any instant base tear down repairs.
I don't think they're that sneaky. I think
Conspiracy
this is a problem. I put a link in the right hand side in case anybody would like to join. But yeah, I don't think they're that sneaky. I think it's part of the construct of the game and the way things have been put together. Because this showed up a while ago before this team showed up that we were getting either it was damage on the 1st ship and now it's damage on the 5th ship. I mean, it would have been a previous team that brought this mechanic about over a year ago. So I think it's just some sort of construct of the game. Okay. So
it's a bad one.
Or
it's good. It's good and bad. You can.
Yeah, it's better the 5th ship than the flag.
Yeah.
Or it was the flag.
But
the only good part of that was if it was like the end of the night and you were just getting as many as you could just go in and swap the ships around and go out and get a couple more.
Right. That's why it's good. It's the 5th ship and not the flag.
Yeah, that was to your point. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I put the link in the right hand side. Does anyone have? No, I don't have any words for that. I don't know. Does anybody have anything to wrap things up? Because it doesn't look like we're going to get the shipwrecks briefing, and I'm not willing to go another 4.5 hours.
Yeah, how late was the briefing for the raid? What time?
And this is like 12:45 Eastern.
Yeah.
See, yeah.
By the time I get home from work, the next day, that's when the raid's already started. Be the same for this.
Yeah, I don't know why they just, why they can't just post them on Tuesday. I mean, they show up so late. Even if the event starts on Thursday, I'm not sure why that rule is in place that they're enforcing now. They didn't used to enforce it because it used to be the raids were on Thursday and the briefing showed up on Tuesday.
Right, 2 days before.
Yeah, but now they've decided it's one day. Really doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Well, it's
especially because they're so erratic when they're released and usually incorrect. So they should be released earlier so they have time to fix them.
Right.
So.
Yeah, because we're all different time zones. And did you see Jordy in comms?
Corbin answered my query on the fish ship on Discord. Okay. Yeah, it's travels slightly ahead of the others. It's the same thing that's been going on for years.
But they did that on purpose so it wouldn't be the flag. Remember, the
Yeah.
flag was taking all the damage, so now they
Yeah,
make
yeah. That's what we just said. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's not even true.
Right.
Sometimes I'll take the fifth ship and drive him behind everybody just to make sure he's not in range, because I don't want to shuffle them all around each time. And the
Mhm.
fifth ship still taking the damage. It's acting like priority targeting, but it's not.
Hmm.
Because I drove a fresh fleet, deliberately driving the fifth away from everybody, and it still managed to take more damage, and that's just weird. There's no rational explanation for it. It's not the first ship or whatever. They've put code in place to target a particular ship.
Alrighty. Stormcatcher, you have anything?
No, y'all about covered everything.
Okay. Alrighty. Well,
What kind of difference in your fifth ships were you seeing? Because I was getting like 5 or more minutes damage than the other ones. Plus,
Mine was a big difference at first.
huge difference. It
Huge
was always like a 5-minute wait.
I could instant repair my other ships, but the fish ship I would have to probably 15 minutes.
Total of 15 minutes. So
for the one ship was probably 15 minutes, and everything else was instant.
Yeah, I had the same issue. So that's it's just too big a difference. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a big difference. And then you're not sure how to mitigate, but it got better when I put another ballistic armor on, and then I put the ballistic sink drive on, and that improved it a lot. Because it was half dead when I started, and it only went to like a quarter dead.
Okay, I just wanted to ask that.
I'll take it back. I can't do 2 of these 131s. So much for my point calculation. 129s might actually be better. I still can only do 2 131s.
Yeah, and you can do at least 3 of the others, right? So you get at least 1 million points more.
Yeah. And I think I can get that to 4 with better driving.
Mm-hmm.
So if we put the new armor on, hopefully it'll help.
Yeah.
That's my plan, is to hit a few 120s. Get the armor, get the tokens, put the armor on, and then try a 129. But it looks like a fairly easy weekend. A lot of people won't be doing shipwrecks, sounds like. And not much BXP, not much to rank. What about the campaigns? Anybody gonna go for the Gorgon or the Carnage in the TLC?
I might.
Depends on how difficult it is.
Depends on what I'm doing this weekend.
Haven't built the one I have.
I like the Gorgons, but I have 3. I'm not sure I want any more. But I might do it if it's easy. Easy meaning I don't have to coin between rounds. I can hit and then slow repair.
So that's Saturn's and Nemesis targets.
Oh, I should have ended the show before we went to get a beer.
I think the damage has been turned up a little bit on the 120s. I'm no longer getting instant map repair. That I
Since
used
it
to.
started? Or
Really?
The way I've been running the FM, I'm now getting 6 minutes map repair.
Do you try entering from right up 12 o'clock position if you don't already do that?
And when I was running it with the app on the phone, I was getting instant repairs.
Oh, you can't control that. Okay.
But it seems like now they probably did turn it up where, the way some of us do run the FM, split our Praetorian fleets up and hit the 120s. But I am now taking about up to 6 minutes of damage.
I've been working on my Praetorians this week, so I can't tell. I've made so many changes. I don't know, but did mine for instant repair right before the show.
Yeah, and I started doing 121s just because of availability and the odd time I could do them for map repair, and otherwise it's just less than a minute in the base. So I don't know what's happened. But then I'm not using the app, so I'm always entering at the same point.
Okay, now that's strange. I just hit a 120 and it pops up. You did not receive the option to blitz this target, and it was a full target. What the hell?
Or maybe somebody did.
Did you have a green arrow beforehand?
It was a full target.
Did you have a green arrow beforehand?
Yeah.
Okay. Try it again on one with the green arrow. Make sure it's a green arrow. That's the only thing that I can, I can get.
See what happens if this.
I got to go back and repair this fleet.
Okay. Well, still nothing from about the shipwrecks briefing. So I don't know. Any parting words, or anybody have anything they want to discuss?
No, just go out and have a great weekend, everybody.
Okay. So, all right. I'm going to end this, and the briefing will be up in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So take care, and see you all on Friday. And if you guys want to comment at all about something we should go through as far as Dragoon builds or Praetorian builds, it's an open mic, and people want to talk about what's working best for them at this point in time. It might be constructive for people to have an open conversation as far as what people are seeing as working and not working. So, and we'll have Jeff run over whatever with whatever build you suggest. So, all right, everybody. We'll see you on Friday, and as Lady Cat says, have a good weekend. And but we'll see you before then, and talk to you later.
Bye.
Everybody have fun.